This is part 255 of God's chain of events. Moving on to the 47th chapter of Jeremiah, starting at the first verse. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines before that Pharaoh smote Gaza. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, waters rise up out of the north, and shall be overflowed, flowing flood, and shall overflow the land and all that is therein, the city and them that dwell therein. Then the men shall cry, and all the inhabitants of the land shall howl, at the noise of the stamping of the hoofs of his strong horses, at the rushing of his wheels, and at the rumbling of his wheels. The fathers shall not look back to their children for feebleness of hands, because of the day that cometh to spoil all the Philistines, and to cut off from Tyrus and Zidon every helper that remaineth. For the Lord will spoil the Philistines, the remnant of the country of Captor. Baldness is come upon Gaza. Escalon is cut off with the remnant of their valley. How long wilt thou cut thyself, O thou sword of the Lord? How long will it be ere thou be quiet? Put up thyself into thy scabbard, rest and be still. How can it be quiet, seeing the Lord hath given it a charge against Escalon, and against the seashore? There had he appointed it. Moving on to the 48th chapter of Moab, starting at the first verse. Moving on to the 48th chapter of Jeremiah, starting at the first verse. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kirathaim is confounded and taken. Mizpah is confounded and dismayed. There shall be no more praise in Moab, in Heshbon. They have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut down, O madman. The sword shall pursue thee. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the going up of Luhith, continuing weeping shall go up. For in the going down of Horonaim, the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Flee, save your lives, and be like the heath in the wilderness. For because thou hast trusted in thy works and in thy treasures, thou shalt also be taken. At Chishmos shall go forth into captivity with his priests and his princes together. And the spoiler shall come upon every city, and no city shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord hath spoken. Give wings unto Moab, that it may flee, and get away, for the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell therein. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Moab hath been at ease from her youth, and hath settled on her lees, and hath not been emptied from vessel to vessel, neither hath he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remain in him, and his sin is not changed. Therefore behold, the Lord comes, saith the Therefore behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send unto him wanderers, that shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessels, and break their bottles. And Moab shall be ashamed at Chishmos, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. How say ye, we are mighty and strong men for the war? Moab is spoiled and gone up out of her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter. And the king whose name the Lord of hosts, the calamity, said the king whose name is the Lord of hosts. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasted fast. All ye that are about him bemoan him, And all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? Thou daughter that dost inhabit Dibon, come down from thy glory, and sit in thirst, for the spoiler of Moab shall come upon thee, and he shall destroy thy strongholds. O inhabitant of Aurora, stand by the way, and espy, ask him that fleeth, and her that escapeth, and say, what is done? Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry, tell it in Arnon, that Moab is spoiled, and judgment is come upon the plain countries, upon Holon, and upon Jahaza, and upon Mephiath, and upon Dibon, and upon Nebo, and upon Beth Dibbathaim, and upon Kirathaim, and upon Beth Gumel, and upon Beth Meon, and upon Kirath, and upon Basra, and upon all the cities of the land of Moab, far or near. The horn of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, said the Lord. Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. Moab shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be a derision. For was not Israel a derision unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippest for joy. O ye that dwell in Moab, leave the city, and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that make her nest in the sides of the hole's mouth. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness is arrogancy, and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. I know his wrath, said the Lord, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so affect it. Therefore will I howl for Moab, and I will cry out for all Moab. Mine heart shall mourn for the men of Kiriath, of O vine of Sheba. I will weep for thee with the weeping of Jezer. Thy plants are gone over the sea. They reach even to the sea of Jazer. The spoiler is fallen upon thy summer fruit, and upon thy vintage. And the joy and gladness is taken from the plentiful field, and from the land of Moab. And I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. None shall tread with shouting. Their shouting shall be no shouting. From the cry of Heshbon even unto Elilah, and even unto Jahaz have they uttered their voice, from Zoar even to Haranim, as an heifer of 3 years old. For the waters of Nimrim shall be desolate. Moreover, I will cause to cease in Moab, said the Lord, him that offereth in the high places, and him that burneth incense to his God. Therefore mine heart shall sound for Moab like pipes, and my heart shall sound like pipes for the men of Kiriath, because the riches that he hath gotten are perished. For every head shall be bald, and every beard clipped. Upon all the hands shall be cuttings, and upon the loins sackcloth. There shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab, and in the streets thereof. For I have broken Moab like a vessel, wherein is no pleasure, saith the Lord. They shall howl, saying, how is it broken down? How hath Moab turned back with shame? So shall Moab be a derision and a dismay to the pit shall be taken. He that fleeth from the fear of the pit into the pit, and he that getteth up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. They that fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon because of the force, but a fire shall come forth out of Heshbon, and a flame from the midst of Sihon, and shall devour the corner of Moab, and the crown of the head of the tumultuous ones. Woe be unto thee, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perish. People of Chemosh perish, for thy sons are taken captive, and thy daughters captives. Yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. We're going to stop here and start